Embeth Davidtz, I would think for you, as for the rest of us, it would be a pleasure to appear in a horror film that has some intelligence, some ideas behind it.
Yeah.
Are you a viewer of horror films at all? Do you see them in New Zealand, or have you?
I don't. I'm not a great horror film fan. I was in one. I was in Army of Darkness, the Sam Raimi movie, which was fun because it was camp and silly, and that's what it was. I don't go to the ones that really try to scare you unless they have some brains behind them, and I think this is one of those.
Yeah, and your character definitely is somebody. Are we starting over or just going from there?
Yeah, you're fine. You get to the next question.
Okay. Your character is in a position to be one of those explainers that these movies need, to tell us what's going on. So tell our audiences, what is going on in this picture? What evil force is loose upon the world?
Okay. First of all, it's hard being the explainer. Sometimes those are the toughest scenes to do because you want to still look like you're acting and you're interesting. What's going on is she has a lot of history in terms of something that had happened to somebody in her family. She has a lot of knowledge in terms of the underworld of the supernatural. Denzel's character is a cop, a straightforward Philadelphia cop. Why would he think that that world has anything to do with his world? And she is the key. She opens the door to all of that. I don't want to give away all the stuff that happens, but she really has a lot of knowledge.
And there's one leitmotif you have with him, which is you have to believe. I'm wondering if you're also talking to audiences and viewers. In a way, we have to believe a little bit, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, I think in a strange way, whether it's just the suspension of disbelief watching the movie and buying the whole concept, each of us, there are very few people that I know that don't have some resonance of religion, however they were raised. That the Catholics I know, there's still some of that stuff rolling around inside of them. So it touches on those points in all of us, and I think that's where some of the spookiness comes from too.
There's something else about Fallen that I was especially struck by, the romantic element. Barely implied. Usually romances are nothing less than collisions on the screen. Here, there's a resonance there, an implication, but do you like that sort of thing? Is that important to you as an actress to suggest rather than...
Yeah, we're all so tired of just, scrunching noses and doing these, grinding
You've had a few
sex
scenes
scenes.
like
Yeah, they're just awful. And I think here we were confronted with it. There was a possibility of, well, will there be a love scene with them? And we all felt that let's just hint at it, let's suggest that it's inappropriate that they'd be doing that when all this other stuff is going on anyway. And somehow it makes for subtler acting. Sometimes some people might not get it, but we felt that it was there. We hoped it was there enough. So I'm glad you saw that there.
I hope we have enough time maybe for you to take us on the trip when you go to New Zealand and now you're back.
South Africa.
South Africa, I'm sorry.
Africa.
Filmmaking is such a global thing anymore. You have to be a citizen of the planet, don't you?
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with film. I'd studied theatre before I came here, and I think I've had to really get educated. Americans grew up with a lot of film, a lot of television, movies every holiday season. I didn't have that as a child. I'm rather far behind with all that. We were talking about this earlier, and I think that in a lot of ways, though, the rest of the world really does follow the American cinema. I think America is the trendsetter in terms of that.
Well, is there a South African film industry that we should know about?
Just a budding. It's just beginning now. I think they, as a country, have had far more important things that they've had to deal with and concentrate on, certainly put their money and their efforts into, and film will come later.
Well, I want to thank you for adding a note of grace and intelligence to the horror genre of Fallen. Pleasure to meet you, Embeth Davidtz.
Thanks.
We're talking here in Los Angeles. I'm John Tibbetts for KCTV5.